This meeting is being recorded.
Ooh, wow. We've got lots of people telling us this meeting is being recorded. Okay.
They're telling us from all angles.
Things. Yeah. Okay. So, hi, Charlie. You're in Boston.
I am.
And
You're in San Francisco. Well, you're
I'm
outside.
so glad that Access is growing in Boston, because when I first found Access, I wanted to bring it to Boston and nobody was interested. And I tried and tried. And I don't know, I did a few classes there, but it was very minimal.
You
So
grew up
awesome.
here, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Where
it's really growing. I just had a bars class here of a lot of people. And what happened?
I don't know.
Well, I got the host will let you in soon sign.
Oh, but you're already here.
I know. That's sort of like life, right? You're already here, but you just got to acknowledge it.
So
I
you
don't
had a
see
bars
you.
class?
I don't see you.
You don't see me?
No.
Hmm.
I mean,
You can click on the little view button in the upper right-hand corner. And there's some people joining us on Facebook. I see there's a few people. Say hello, ask questions if you like.
I've been cut out.
You have?
Yeah.
But you're here.
I know, it just says the host will let you in soon. That's the only sign I have.
Oh, well, we're good. We can just.
Okay, we'll just chat. We'll just chat this way.
Yeah.
Cool.
So tell me about
your nice to see you as a white screen.
Somebody's saying hello from Vermont, and she can see us both. So there you go.
Oh, hi, Vermont. Is that Jean? It might be Jean from Vermont.
Jean, yeah. There you go.
He was in the bars class that just happened. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had a facelift class yesterday.
Cool.
Hi, Anne from Washington. Yeah. So I've been asking to be able to put through 500 people in facelift, because I think it's awesome. And I think more people should know about it and stop doing that Botox crap. But that's just my point of view.
Yeah, that's a wonderful, interesting point of view.
Joan is saying hi as well.
Hi,
Your
Joan.
friend Joan.
My friend Joan. Hi, my friend Joan. You know what's really kind of interesting about this is that this is the first time I've done any kind of Zoom or anything on the computer here where I can't see myself. Since I can't see you, I can't see myself. So it's kind of interesting. Like, how do I look?
You look fabulous.
I look marvelous, right?
You look marvelous, yes. So you were saying that you like this topic of creationships, and that's sort of a word that Gary created. So tell me what it is that you know about that, and let's just start down that road and see what comes out.
Sure. Well, we're all swimming in them, right? And when you say, what do I know? It's what I know is what can I explore? What can I create that is expansive? And what is possible? You know, just that question we ask a lot in Access, like what is possible? But really ask that question like regularly in all of your creations, in all of my creationships, my partnerships, my playmates, friends, to continually revitalize it, to keep asking what's next, what's possible, that wasn't possible yesterday or wasn't possible at 8 o'clock this morning.
Mhm.
And what's possible for me to show up new, the 10-second rule thing.
Yeah.
And so that everything can be an adventure rather than a same old, same old.
Yeah. It's interesting that you chose this topic. I've been reading reference material at night before bed, and I was on the section of creating conscious relationships. And I think he took a lot of that out of the COP manual because nobody was willing to do it. This was back from 2011. And a lot of what he's saying is getting out of the fantasy of what you want and looking at what is and seeing, does this work? Does this work for me? And stop having to have the person be interested in you, but you be interested in them. And then does that work for you? It's just a totally different way of being and creating.
Totally, right? Yeah. I've been asking myself in the last few days, almost continually, what am I willing to let go of to have what I would want?
Mm,
And that question just keeps expanding every time I ask it. Like sometimes it goes like just take myself with my girlfriend. Um, is when I ask myself, what am I willing to let go of to have more fun? What am I willing to let go of to have more of what I want? Um, like sometimes what comes up is like letting go of being right,
mhm,
letting go of making her wrong, or
mhm.
letting go of pretending something, or letting go of some image I have to hold on to. Um,
Those are
and
huge.
yeah, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. And it's so exciting to keep coming up with the things that I can let go of that I don't need to hold on to. That's not really
Mhm.
me.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I was traveling the other day and stayed in a hotel. And when I was leaving in the morning, there was a couple who got on the elevator with me with their luggage. So they were leaving too. And the guy pushed the elevator button to, floor number 1, and it didn't light up. And so the woman came over and like pushed it, like, you're wrong, you didn't do it right. And didn't say anything, but the looks, and he looked at her like, man, lady. It was just so interesting to watch this interaction of he can't do anything right. And he's like, I'm out of here. And they're together. And this is relationship.
Right. Right. And how much of our relationships are filled with that, right? I mean, just filled with all
Yeah.
kinds of points of view that we carry around that aren't even ours.
Yeah. Yep. It's crazy. And it's like, why are you still together if you hate each other? You know?
Exactly. So like, when I ask myself the question, like, what am I willing to let go of to have more of what I want? That includes the relationship. Like, am I willing to
Mhm.
let that go? And, the thing that Dane has been talking a lot about is about ending your relationship,
Mhm.
ending your relationship every day
Mhm.
so that you recreated and rechosen and re-explored and re-found out like what's the thing today, what can we be today, what can we create today, what can I be today,
Yeah.
and destroying and uncreating who you are in the relationship every day.
Yeah,
um,
it's interesting how scary it is for people to have no reference points,
mm,
you know?
mm,
And that's probably why a lot of people wouldn't let go of relationship of some sort, because they don't want to be undefined. And it's like the more you can get used to the space that you be, the less you need any of those definitions or solidities in your life to know that you're okay.
So true. We have so many points of view about space, right? About not having things defined.
Mhm.
That that there's this huge fear factor about if you let go of something.
Yeah. But like that could be wee,
Whee!
like going down a slide, it's not scary, it's exciting. How many people have totally misidentified that? Yeah.
So, this is coming up in my awareness right now, is that the other night, my girlfriend and I were invited to have dinner with another couple at their outside in their patio.
Mhm.
And we went, and we haven't had the best history about socializing with other couples because, like, it's not my favorite thing to do. And so, anyway, I was noticing that as I was going there, that I was having points of view about, oh, this is not going to be a good time. And I started saying, well, am I willing to let go of those points of view that this isn't going to be a good time? And whose points of view are those anyway? And return to sender all of
Right.
those points of view. And we got there, and sure enough, it still wasn't a very good time.
So maybe it was awareness.
Exactly. And so what happened was that it was really interesting because we were sitting down and, there's a barbecue and people were chatting and so forth. And my girlfriend was talking a lot to the other woman and the other couple, and they were chatting away and so forth. And I found myself like becoming more and more withdrawn. And that's a place that I know in myself as a habit.
Uh-huh.
And I have a lot of like things inside that I do with that and so forth. And I just noticed myself doing that. And I said that question, like, what am I willing to let go of right now? And like, again, what came up for me was I was willing to let go of needing to have a place in the conversation, or needing to be seen, or needing to be recognized, or needing to make her wrong for talking more than me. And when I let go of all of that, Jules, all of a sudden there was this space where I didn't need anything.
Yeah.
And I was in this space of just enjoying the evening, and the moon was coming over and just being in the trees and so forth. And the chatter that was going on between the two women was just like the birds. It was just music.
Mm-hmm.
It was a totally different experience.
Yeah. So that's like you stopped the contraction and you started to expand out and be the space of your being. And that's so cool. And what a great example, of using the tools in a practical situation. Like being at a party and feeling left out or whatever. And it doesn't mean that you have to break into the conversation, but you can still be and be you and be a contribution, even if you're just sitting there.
Truly.
That's
Truly.
amazing.
Yeah. And just the awareness that my points of view about me in those situations are like all contracted. Like I could either like go silent and resent what's going on, which is fun, of course. And then, or I could try to, like you said, break into the conversation, which is still a reactive, contracted place to be. And to just let go of all of that and to just allow the beingness to be there was so different.
Yeah. So I wonder, like all the people listening in the future, like where we learned that behavior of contracting when we're not invited into the conversation. And all the points of view we're avoiding and defending about that. Maybe we could destroy and uncreate it and have a different possibility.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, po, beds, and beyonds.
Cool.
And how much are we willing to let go of being one of our parents in those situations?
Yeah, I think of all the times growing up where it's like, oh, I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be like that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be different. So all of that resistance we have locked in so that we're sure we won't be it, but it's already a part of us. So it pops out.
So true, right? It's like all those oaths and promises we made to ourselves about that we wouldn't be like them.
So let's revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all the places that we swore that we would never be like our parents. And so we have become just like them without knowing it.
Like wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, po, beds, and beyonds.
Wow, that's creating some lightness in the universe. So how cool
Really?
is that?
How cool is that, right? Right. We, you know, it's so big, you know, I'm just experiencing the largeness of that, of the becoming what we try not to become.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. It really, really is. It's
It
so
truly, truly is.
funny. How does it get better than that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, my biggest relationship is with my kids. And that's really different than what I thought it would be when they were little. Although, fortunately, when they were 3 and 6, I found access and I just raised them different. You know, I gave them choice. Actually, I gave them choice even before access. I guess that was always different. But the conversations that I have, at least with my daughter, my son is not quite as open yet. He just turned 22 and he's in college. He's finishing his last year. But my daughter's 25 and she's like experimenting in the world and she shares everything with me. And it's just awesome. And it's like, you know, what's that going to create? And is this light for you? And does that work for you? And, you know, what adventures can you have? And it's just really fun.
Wow. You know, just listening to you talk about that, there's so much honoring in that, you know, which is like one of the 5 elements of intimacy that we talk about is honoring.
Mhm.
And just honoring, you know, just I hear how much you're honoring your daughter when you just say that, is that you're honoring her as a separate being, as not yours.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, when they came in, I was like, wow, you're an amazing infinite being. What can you teach me? You know, I didn't do that whole baby talk. And it's like, wow, what do you know? What would you like to choose? Do you have kids? No, you didn't have kids.
No, I have a daughter, an
Oh,
adopted daughter.
cool.
And I have a really cool history of parenting in that I don't have any biological children, but I've raised several children. And the first child I raised was a child with Down syndrome. And I was working in a state hospital way back in the day where kids were not really well treated
Mm.
in state hospitals. And so I stole him. And I just fell in love with this kid and I stole him. I took him home with me one day after work. Um, no one seemed to care. So,
Oh my God. Amazing.
yeah, it was really cool. And then at some point they found that out that he wasn't there, and I was forced to put him back in to the institution, which was kind of challenging at the time because he had lost then a lot of the gains he had made with being with me.
Mm.
And but just to complete that story, it's a long story, but then I moved away. I'd gotten my PhD. That was when I was in graduate school. And I went away and I taught at some places and so forth, and came back a couple of years later to that same area. And that was when the deinstitutionalization movement was starting in Massachusetts,
Mm.
where kids were being taken out of institutions and placed in homes and so forth. And my first job when I came back in was to supervise the social workers who were finding homes for kids in institutions. And I get to supervise to find the home that he eventually lived in.
Oh,
And
wait.
so that's a really cool part of my parenting. And then I adopted a partner's friend, and I've raised some other partner's friends as well. So I've done a lot of parenting, and had a lot of journeys with that, had a lot of growth and learnings and so forth.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, people seem to like normal parenting is like teaching your kids how to live in this reality with all of the limitations that are here. And I've always been like, you just came from the beyond, and like, I don't want to fuck you up. So how much can I just support you in being here and knowing what you know and not eroding those awarenesses?
But Jules, that is just what's so radical, in this reality, what you just said. And like some of us just, if we've been around in Access now for a while, just kind of take that as the way we operate. But how many of us were actually raised that way? How many of us came into this world with people who welcomed us? They're saying, "Welcome, beautiful being from beyond this reality. What can I do for you? How can I make your beautiful being more beautiful?"
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sometimes in classes, whether I think it's like SOP or maybe even the Being You class, Dean has done this energetic exercise where you go back to when you first got here, and he's like, you're being now, go back to the being back then and be with you the whole way till now. And it just it just makes you feel so much less alone on the journey.
So true. So true. And it helps dismantle all those points of view that you was projected onto you as you grew up.
Yeah. Yep. And so if you're willing to let go of your past and your pain and all the things that you thought were wronged, and like ask what else is possible and who are you now because of all of that.
So can we just take a moment right now to destroy and uncreate all the wrongness that was projected on us throughout all of this lifetime?
Yeah. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. And then the other half of that would be all the wrongness that we were aware of in our parents and peers that we thought was ours. And destroy and uncreate that and return it to sender.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds.
What if it's possible to change the past and have a different present?
And how would that then change how we are in relationship, creationship, funship, sexship, whatever we're having with people now, that the more and more wrongness that we can let go of, that to start to live in a world in which our connections with people, our communion with people isn't filled with wrongness, either our own or theirs, or bouncing the ball back and forth, and just have relationships of space.
Yeah. That's what I keep asking for.
Right?
You know, if I'm going to add another relationship, friendship, creationship, whatever to my life, I'd like it to have space so that they can be them and I can be me.
So true. So true. And just to piggyback on that is like, my ask is that for all of my connections with all beings on this planet to be fun. And,
Nice.
you know, that's just so radical in this reality that that's the point of them. Is to,
Yeah, exactly. What do you mean fun?
just to have more fun, you know? It's like, what? Yeah, just more fun. And that's what it's all about. Yeah, just have more fun. Like, and then just to, you know, use that tool of just what's ever light for you. Create connections around the lightness.
But come
And
on, you're in Boston. This is like conservative, traditional, serious. Where did you go to college? Central. What do you mean
True.
fun? Fun is not valued in Boston.
This is so true. We value the mind,
Yes.
which is a very serious thing.
Gary always used to say in classes, the mind is a terrible thing, waste it.
So true.
I don't
It's
hear him
so
say
true.
that anymore.
It's so true. And, you know, I personally went through that whole route because I've been based here in Boston. I've traveled around the world, but I've been based here for most of my life, educationally in Boston. And I grew up in the academia world here
Mhm.
and taught at Harvard for many years.
Oh,
Um, and and one of the conferences that I did there was one in which my presentation was a mind is a terrible thing to is a wonderful thing to waste. And that was my
awesome.
presentation. And they never asked me to present again.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh.
'Cause
I wish I
my
knew
whole-
you then.
my whole
I knew
thing
I
was
grew
on
up in that.
addiction. My whole thing was on the addiction to thinking.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
did this presentation of all these like slides, and the first slide was my baby pictures of saying, this is where I started to have my first thoughts. And then I had a picture of me in the first grade where I was learning more thoughts. And then when I was like graduating high school and I had lots of thoughts. And each time I was getting more and more reinforced for having more and more thoughts. And
Wow.
you know, then the journey has been to somehow start destroying and creating the addiction to thinking.
Yep. Wow. That's amazing. My
So how
mom
much
works
more
at
fun
Harvard.
can we have when we stop thinking?
I know. But like the thinkers are like, wait, what are you talking about? Like the solidity of thought and figuring something out and like locking it down and having the answer is so omnipresent. It's like, what would you do without that? And there's this whole other world of perceiving, knowing, receiving, and being that you do not have access to when you're thinking.
And how much more fun can we have laughing at thinking? Laughing at your own thinking, laughing at other people's thinking.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So true. Oh my goodness. Well, good work.
You too.
Thank you. So, wow, this 30 minutes went by so quickly. It was fun.
That was real fun.
Thanks for being on. And yeah, I still travel to Boston occasionally, visit my mom. So maybe we could create something.
Absolutely. Let me know next time you're coming this way.
Will do. And thanks everybody for watching now and in the future. And if you have questions or comments, please send them our way. We'd love to connect with you. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thanks, Julie.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.